Welcome to the ministry of Equipping Lydia. My name is Laura, and I invite you on a journey of learning the history of how all of this got started. Well, I was trained as a spiritual director back in the 1990s through the Center for Spiritual Formation, which is a beautiful ministry in Pennsylvania. I moved to Kentucky in 2006 to finish some graduate school at Asbury Theological Seminary. And while I was there, I had no intentions of practicing spiritual direction. I was just going to study and finish up my degree. But as I met with people upon arrival, I would introduce myself. They'd ask me what I do, and in the midst of my story, I would just say, and I was trained as a spiritual director. And they would take a breath and say, oh my goodness, I've been praying for someone. I need to meet with a spiritual director, and I haven't been able to find anyone. Would you meet with me? I hesitated, but they were persistent. And so in 2006, I began meeting with two beautiful women. And that grew and grew. So by 2007, I think I had about 180 appointments while I was going to school. And so as I could see something was happening, I prayed and sought the Lord on how to handle it, what to do, what He was calling me into. And while in a class on Jeremiah at Asbury Seminary, I got this download in the Spirit and began writing and writing and writing while Dr. Lawson Stone was teaching on Jeremiah. And I don't remember what he taught that day, but I do remember what the Lord spoke in my heart. And that was that this was a ministry to be modeled after Lydia in the book of Acts, that it would be about equipping people to have those experiences of spiritual refreshment. And that I was to gather prayer midwives around me to birth this thing through intercession. So I was obedient and wrote letters of invitation to women I had noticed were prayerful. About 6 of those agreed to journey with me for the first 6 months, and we met for one day a month to pray about this vision, about what was happening, and we discerned that it was of the Lord, and they helped me navigate these waters of exponential growth in a very short period of time. The prayer wives met for about 3 years as Equipping Lydia grew and matured. During that time in spiritual direction, I would hear that people in leadership were dying on the vine. They were drying out in their faith communities because of the lack of deep prayer and quiet. And so I brought this to the prayer midwives, and for a long time we prayed about what to do. And in 2008, it came to us that we were to have retreats, offer retreats, expanding the work of quiet prayer and Sabbath renewal that I was doing in spiritual direction with my guests. So we began having retreats, and that opened up the ministry to a beautiful experience of spiritual refreshment and renewal. In 2010, Equipping Lydia became incorporated and became a 501c3 status organization, a nonprofit. And so the prayer midwife leadership model transitioned to the board of directors, which has always been a prayerful board. We don't follow a classic business model, never have been able to. But the board has been guiding me, has been working collaboratively to discern God's call on the ministry, God's work of renewal for His people. We have honed a model of leadership we call the gentle way to help people experience spiritual refreshment through spiritual retreats and spiritual direction experiences. We've expanded spiritual direction to include holy listening and spiritual formation groups, including the one-on-one spiritual direction that a number of us do now. We have tried a variety of retreat models and have a number of shepherds who are equipped to lead those retreats. And so it's a beautiful journey. Equipping Lydia is about 10 years old now, and we are seeking this year what to do next. We're revisiting the vision and mission and core values of the ministry this year, and we hope that you'll join us for this conversation and prayer of what God is doing, for He is always doing a new thing. So welcome to the ministry of Equipping Lydia, and if you ever have questions about how we work and what we do, please ask. There are many of us that love to talk about this work of spiritual renewal, of helping people experience the deep well of God's love through spiritual direction and retreats. God bless you in your work and in your journey. Amen.